Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching this video. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours in the crypto space, so I'm hoping you know a little bit about what we'll be discussing in today's video. But if you happen to have missed it or you're living under a rock for whatever reason, don't worry because we will be covering everything that has happened in the last 24 hours in the crypto space. So with that being said, let's get into the content. All right, so starting with Senator Cynthia Lumis. If you don't know who Cynthia Lumis is, she's a senator out of Wyoming, and she has been named the chair of the Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets. So let's get into what her statement says. Digital assets are the future, and if the United States want to remain a global leader in financial innovation, Congress needs to urgently pass bipartisan legislation establishing a comprehensive legal framework for digital assets and that strengthens the US dollar with a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I am humbled my colleagues have placed their trust in me to chair this historic subcommittee, and I look forward to shepherding bipartisan legislation to President Trump's desk this year that secures our financial future. So, Cynthia Lumis, she's definitely positioned herself to be pretty pro crypto in the past couple of years. She's been involved with the Bitcoin Reserve Act. She also was involved with a few stablecoin acts from the previous administration, but those have yet to be voted on. So yeah, I would definitely research more into Cynthia Lumis if you don't really know anything about her. It's always good to know who these people are and what their perspectives are on some of these issues that we have, especially pertaining to digital assets, because we've been got before. So definitely give look into Senator Cynthia Lewis if you haven't already. Moving on. This is Eleanor Terrett. She tweeted out about the executive orders that Donald Trump put out specifically related to the digital asset space. If you don't know who Eleanor Terrett is, she was a reporter that pretty much came onto the base, the spotlight, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning of the Ripple case. So she covered that pretty thoroughly as things happened and gave us some insight on what was being said by experts and within the courtroom itself. So definitely give Eleanor a follow. She's a good resource in the space. But getting into the contents of her tweet, she states that the executive order establishes the Presidential Working Group on Digital Asset Markets to strengthen U.S. leadership in digital finance. The working group will be tasked with developing a federal regulatory framework governing digital assets, including stablecoins, and evaluating the creation of a strategic national digital asset stockpile. The working group will be chaired by the White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, and include the Secretary of the Treasury, the Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the heads of other relevant departments and agencies. The White House AI and crypto czar will engage leading experts in digital assets and digital markets to ensure that the actions of the working group are informed by expertise beyond the federal government. So on these last two parts, man, I really need to do some research on who David Sachs is. I may have a video dedicated to who David Sachs is once I've done that research. Similar to how I had a video for the new SEC chairman, Paul Atkins. Be sure to check that video out. But yeah, man, it's always good to know who these people are. And like I said, get to understand their perspective on certain topics, especially crypto in this case. So definitely need to do my research on who David Sachs is. But on this other part right here, I like the fact that the government seems to be interested in creating a working relationship with expertise outside of the federal government. That's always important because over the last couple of years, man, the whew, the expertise, if you want to call it that, either coming from the SEC or any other company or agency, seemed very anti-crypto to, almost create a monopoly around crypto in a way. So I would love if we could get different perspectives from all different types of people who collectively want the better for the digital asset space. So I really enjoy that piece. But moving on, the executive order directs departments and agencies with identifying and making recommendations to the working group on any regulations and other agency actions affecting the digital assets sector that should be rescinded or modified. Yeah, chill out on all the regulation by enforcement, man. We've lost some good companies due to, underhanded practices, if you will. There haven't been clear rules to the road. So honestly, until there are, man, pump your brakes a little bit. And then once there are rules to the road, it would be nice if we had something like SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. She proposed something like the safe harbor rule. So I believe within that rule, crypto companies would have a period of time where they could get their act together essentially, or make sure they're in line with policies established where they're not just getting hit upside the head immediately with compliancy issues, things of that nature. They have some time to get their operations in order so that they can comply with the rules to the road. So hopefully something like that gets put in place too, and they're not just, here's the rules and oh, you're automatically breaking the rules, so you get fined after fine after fine. I definitely wouldn't want to see that. Moving on. The executive order prohibits agencies from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Yeah, man, I do not agree with CBDCs. Like many have some privacy concerns related to CBDCs. They just don't really seem to be crypto or digital assets in the essence. I feel like there will definitely be some, I don't know, some risks associated with this for sure. So let's keep crypto decentralized as much as possible. Um, anyway, the executive order revokes the previous administration's digital asset executive order and the Treasury Department's framework for international engagement on digital assets, which suppress innovation and undermine U.S. economic liberty and global leadership in digital finance. I'm loving it. Like I said, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. um, I definitely want to see innovation come to the United States related to digital assets, similar to what we've seen for artificial intelligence. I would love to see that for digital assets. We want the best minds. I don't care if you're American born or born anywhere else. If you are innovative and you want to build a business related to digital assets in the United States, I'm totally fine with that. Please come over here. Please build in the United States and let's create an innovation hub for digital assets. So, if you thought things couldn't get better, we had the rescinding of SAB 121 with Staff Accounting Bill number 122. And it's right here in the summary. Like they wasted no time. This staff accounting bill, or SAB, rescinds the interpretive guidance included in Section FF of Topic 5 and the Staff Accounting Bulletin series entitled Accounting for Obligations to Safeguard Crypto Assets an Entity Holds for Its Platform Users. So, what does this essentially mean? This basically means that banks and financial institutions can custody crypto assets, which is amazing. I'm very glad to see that get rescinded. Institutional money hopefully feels comfortable to dive right in, if you will. So we will see. None of this stuff, like what I've noticed, like you would think, people would jump right on it. I'm sure companies are having meetings, these institutions are getting their paperwork and all their business in order, things of that nature. But I used to think that these things would create some instant ripple effect, but that's not how that works. It's definitely going to be a bubble up effect. So just be on the lookout, man. That this to me is the green light, but we shall see. Things happen slow until they don't. So things seem to be happening fast right now. And with that being said, there's a lot going on, like I said, in the digital asset space. There's a lot to pay attention to, a lot of hope, a lot of good things. It would be nice if we heard more about the reserve pretty soon. So, the crypto and AI SAR, hopefully they hear or he hears something and is able to give a good report or a good recommendation on doing the stockpile or not. I noticed that they did say a stockpile of assets, not necessarily a Bitcoin reserve, which I'm totally fine with. I don't think it should just be one asset in this reserve. I definitely think it should be a basket. So I'm definitely more so aligned with the stockpile idea versus just a Bitcoin reserve. And that's no shot to Bitcoin. Bitcoin should be in the stockpile as well as several other assets. I definitely looking forward to more pro crypto activity in the United States. Again, I want to see the United States become a innovation hub, things of that nature. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. With that being said, man, please give me a like. Be sure to share and hit me with a subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments about today's content. How do you feel about the digital asset space? How do you feel about these executive orders? Do you feel a little bit better about where we're headed in the digital asset space versus where we've been going in the previous administration? But yeah, just let me know. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.